right. Hello and welcome. I'm Dustin Guinee, and you've reached Open Minds, Open Hearts. And today we will be speaking on session 19, Love, Apologize, Forgive, and Thank. This session is inspired by the ancient Hawaiian healing practice of Ho'oponopono. So it should be really interesting for those looking for forgiveness, love, gratitude, very powerful practices all combined into one. So that guided meditation is coming up shortly. In case you missed the last session, session 18, Mindful of Racial Equality, that is up online. It's on my website, openmindsopenhearts.org. Check it out. We touched on a lot of really important topics around racism, white privilege, racial equity. It can be heavy topics at times, but we tried to tie it back to mindfulness and awareness. And I think there's some really great nuggets that we can all learn from there. All these sessions that I do are absolutely free. If you'd like to leave a donation, it's always greatly appreciated as it keeps all the devices and tools running. You can do that at openmindsopenhearts.org/donations or get on my mailing list, and I'll keep you informed about all the latest sessions and new guided meditations and all the great content that's coming out. So check me out on podcasts as well, in case you haven't. I'm on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, everywhere where you get your podcasts. So got the visual version on YouTube and the audio version wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just trying to share that meditation, mindfulness, goodness with all you guys, whether in person during these live sessions or on the interwebs. It's all about elevating our awareness. So before I dive into my presentation, I wanted to touch on why I wanted to speak about Ho'oponopono and this love, apologize, forgive, and thank practice. For those that tuned in to the last session on race, I shared a story about a white friend who had told a racist joke to a black female friend, which caused a bit of a falling out. And I, since that episode, had went to talk to this friend, this white friend, about the scenario and tried to get his side of the story and understand what happened. Really more as kind of a neutral observer. And I was a bit struck when I told him that, hey, an apology to our friend who you told this joke to, I think that apology would go a long way. And he replied by saying that he didn't believe in apologies. He thought apologies were hollow words that didn't really mean anything, and he would not do that. He didn't think it was that important. And I was really just kind of blown back by that response and troubled, to be honest. And since then, I can't say that our friendship has been growing. It kind of stopped in that moment, and so I started reflecting on the importance of this apologizing and forgiveness, and how when we're not comfortable going there, it really holds us back and potentially even damages or destroys relationships. And it's a heavy one, but so vital to this practice of awareness, mindfulness. Generally on this program, we're all about being mindful of our actions. And so Ho'oponopono came to my mind after I experienced this. And I I did some Ho'oponopono meditations on my own to kind of process what this friend had told me, that he didn't believe in apologies, and it really hurt my heart. And so I can tell you on a personal level, this practice of Ho'oponopono, it's very powerful. It works. I'm going to give you kind of a more westernized version, not the traditional Hawaiian Pacific Islander version, but it is told with much respect to the original teachings. So, love, apologize, forgive, and thank. That is what we're doing today. And so we'll set an intention, read some inspired writings, talk a little bit about Ho'oponopono, the history, as well as some of the practices around it. I'll guide you in a meditation inspired by Ho'oponopono and the ritual of forgiveness. And then we'll have some communication at the end with our online community here. So let's go ahead and start by setting an intention for our practice today. Intentions are a state of being that connect our head and heart. So some possible intentions could be to learn about Ho'oponopono, keep an open mind, and understand how it might help me in my own life. Be more loving and kind to myself and others. Apologize and forgive somebody for something I'm still holding on to that is no longer serving me. So go ahead and take a minute to reflect on your intention for today's session and beyond. What is your intention around love, apologies, forgiveness, and gratitude? And what comes to the heart first usually is the right direction, so we will go with that. So, as you look into this ritual of Ho'oponopono, it is actually kind of hard to find a lot of literature around the topic. But there are a few modern teachers. The first being Joe Vitale, who introduced me to this practice through his book, Zero Limits, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. Joe says, and Joe is an American-born spiritual leader from Texas, but also has written a ton of great self-help books. And he says, Ho'oponopono sees each problem not as an ordeal, but as an opportunity. Problems are just replayed memories of the past, showing up to give us one more chance to see with the eyes of love and to act from inspiration. And, you know, in his book, Zero Limits, he talks a lot about acting out of inspiration as opposed to memory. And so traditionally, acting out of inspiration has a spiritual element to it. You know, for those that believe in God, it's being inspired by God. But there's also a creative aspect to living out of that inspiration as well. It's not getting stuck. It's seeing a challenge as an opportunity. It's kind of reframing things that seem like a problem, reframing that into an opportunity of growth. And that ultimately the problems that we create are these memories that continue to replay in our heads, right? So after whatever challenging event occurs, it's that replay, it's that memory that gets us stuck. So that's where this practice of Ho'oponopono allows us to become more mindful of that memory that's keeping us stuck, to really live in that inspiration from the heart. E. Haleakala Hugh Len, also a co-author with Joe Vitale on Zero Limits. He is a probably is one of the more well-known traditional Ho'oponopono practitioners out of Hawaii. And he says, the purpose of life is to be restored back to love, moment to moment. To fulfill this purpose, the individual must acknowledge that he is 100% responsible for creating his life the way it is. The problems are not people, places, and situations, but rather the thoughts of them. He must come to appreciate that there is no such thing as out there. So, yeah, really, really kind of powerful. And, this idea of taking 100% responsibility, at first it seems like maybe a bit extreme that like we have to take responsibility for everything that happens. Like, what if we weren't directly involved? What if it was something that we know, somebody that we know got in trouble, but we didn't get in trouble? And I think Dr. Hewlin, his point is that anytime that an issue comes into our awareness, that if we take responsibility for that issue, then ultimately we can clean that issue or that memory, that challenge. We can clean it with the act of Ho'oponopono. We can clean it with the love and the forgiveness and the gratitude. So it's a really kind of powerful way to see the world. It's definitely very different. But it really takes us out of that victimization mode and puts us into a very proactive mode, to really just be aware and to take responsibility for our own actions and what comes across our awareness, and being mindful of that. And then finally, Ulrich Dupree, another author that's written on Ho'oponopono, he says, imagine you are holding a big stone in each hand. If I should want to give you some money right now, you must first put the stones aside. The same applies to our patterns and prejudices, our values, and the gifts of the universe. The key to being able to receive lies in the ability to let something go. And so, yeah, I think, the stone in each hand with Ho'oponopono is the memories, particularly the memories that keep us stuck. And so the idea is as we clean those memories through this practice of love, forgiveness, gratitude, then we're able to start letting go of that negative emotion, what's holding us back from being our true, full, authentic selves. So it's really, really powerful, really deep. And so let's talk a little bit more about the history of Ho'oponopono. It is and it is pronounced. It's a little tricky, but it's Ho'oponopono. So together, Ho'oponopono. Little tricky to say, but it is a practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. And traditionally was exercised as a family healing ritual in Hawaiian cultures. And similar rituals have been found throughout the Pacific Island cultures. So this is some ancient wisdom that has been known for thousands of years that many folks today are rediscovering, but certainly has its roots in some very ancient wisdom. And Ho'oponopono essentially translates into making correct, to put right, in a form of mental cleansing. So the practitioner practices their own self-healing, thereby aiding in the healing of others. So kind of what we were talking about of your being aware of your memories, especially the negative ones. And then through this process of Ho'oponopono, you're cleaning those memories. You're through love, forgiveness, gratitude, you're cleaning that negative energy to make way for more abundance, for more flow, for more of an inspired state in your life. And so we do that through this mantra, and it's very simple. It's 4 statements. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Those 4 statements, while they may seem simple, they are certainly not simplistic. They are deeply profound, each statement in its own right, particularly when the practitioner says it with their full spirit behind it. So really, really just a powerful prayer or mantra that we'll be practicing in just a bit in our guided meditation. But a little background on how I discovered Ho'oponopono, and this book, Zero Limits by Joe Vitale, co-authored by E. Haleakala Hugh Len. It's probably one of the more comprehensive books that I've found on this topic. There is some really great pointers and insights in this book. But essentially, the idea is by saying this Ho'oponopono prayer on a regular basis, you clean your heart and mind, healing yourself, thereby healing others. So, kind of the whole idea that we've talked about before, that you can't really truly love someone until you fill up your own love cup first, right? And then when you fill up your own cup, it starts to spill over and you're able to love unconditionally because you've filled your cup first, right? So it's kind of a very similar concept to that. And especially it emphasizes the apologizing and the forgiveness piece, letting go of what's no longer serving us. Because that's the part that can really block our energy. It can have negative health effects on the body when we hold in resentment and suffering and pain and do not apologize and forgive. Like, it's actually linked to health issues, both physical and mental health issues. So yeah, there's a lot of power just in these 4 statements. And so this idea that we're operating out of memories and programs, this conditioning, usually on an unconscious level on autopilot, right? Like, so we all have the way that we were raised and our conditioning, our social, cultural programs. And so Ho'oponopono takes this into account. And so we're starting to bring mindful awareness to those automatic programs. And so that's how the awakening begins. And then we're operating from this inspired, unplanned state. And it's all about being in the service of others and not in the service of our ego. So even though we start with ourselves, and we start by loving ourselves, and we start by showing forgiveness and gratitude to ourselves, this isn't about the self and the ego. This is about healing the complete being, so that we can then be this tool of healing for others. So heal yourself and then heal others. And so that's where that cleaning of negative memories kind of comes into play there. And in this book, Dr. Hugh Len, he continuously uses that term, clean, 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 clean. Always cleaning, cleaning the heart, cleaning the mind, cleaning the heart, cleaning the mind. It's if you ever seen like the Buddhist monks and the way that they'll sweep the path as part of their training as a monk, it's cleaning, it's sweeping. There's just something mindful about coming back and cleaning, to make pure, to make whole, so that you become this channel that can allow inspiration and imagination to flow through. So I think it's great for healing. It's also great for creative types and artists. There's a lot of applications. And then, for those that may be saying, that's great, Dustin, but it's a little too woo-woo for me. I'm not a big God guy, or maybe you're not into the soul thing. There's some great science to support this as well. So, particularly around love and loving kindness meditation. So loving kindness meditation, through various research, has been shown to increase positive emotions and empathy for others, increasing feelings of safety and trust via oxytocin hormones, reducing migraines, inflammation, and depression. So that's all just through a loving kindness meditation, and studying people that have been practicing that, which Ho'oponopono certainly touches on loving kindness as well. Forgiveness has been proven to heal, lowers the risk of heart attacks, improves immune health, lowers cholesterol levels, improves sleep, reduces pain, anxiety, depression, and stress. So lots of research around the health benefits of forgiveness. It really, holding in those memories and those negative memories really do take a toll on the physical body. And our science is now catching up to those ancient insights. And finally, gratitude heals the mind and body. So also a lot of great research on how gratitude helps people feel greater happiness, reduces symptoms of depression and anger. Grateful people report fewer aches and pains, get less headaches, get better sleep in general, and have better health than ungrateful people. So they've actually done studies studying people practicing gratitude versus not. And those that practice gratitude see much better health results. So yeah, lots of wisdom in this Ho'oponopono practice. And we got the science to back it up. So touches on both Eastern and Western influences there. So with that, I'd like to get into a guided meditation. Let's begin. Greetings and welcome. This is Dustin Guinee, and today I'll be guiding you on a forgiveness meditation inspired by the ancient Hawaiian healing practice of Ho'oponopono. This is a very powerful practice in which we are combining love, apologies, forgiveness, and gratitude into a very powerful mantra prayer that we will be repeating together. I will guide the group to kind of break down what each of these pieces mean. And we will start this practice on ourselves, and then we will apply it to a challenging person in our lives. In memory of the ancient and modern ancestors of Hawaii and the Pacific Islands that have provided us with this practice, I want to give thanks to those ancestors for their wisdom and for allowing us to use this practice. Even though this is not a traditional practice, it is very much inspired by Ho'oponopono. So let's go ahead and get started with a few deep breaths. So deep breath in through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, and release. Releasing through the mouth, letting the diaphragm decompress. And deep breath in through the nose, filling up that belly. And release, releasing through the mouth. Nice and easy. And deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly. And release. And know that at any time during our meditation, if you ever feel uncomfortable or anxious, feel free to return to your breath, as your breath is your anchor point on this journey. And as we think about Ho'oponopono, this practice of I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, very powerful statements that when we reflect towards ourselves, really start to fill up our cup. So let's just take a moment to reflect on what these statements mean for us in our lives. I love you. Loving ourselves. This is a pure love, not from ego, but from inspired spirit, inspiration. This is without agenda. This is unconditional love with non-judgmental awareness, not concerned about our shortcomings, challenges, or issues of the past, just settled into this moment right now in the love that we have for ourselves. For some, it may feel like a mighty sun. For others, it may feel like a humble candle. But regardless of the size of your self-love, there's always room to fill up that cup. We just want to bring this loving kindness to ourselves. We all deserve to be loved. You are worthy of love. You are here today practicing meditation to improve yourself. You are on the right track. You're on the right path. And self-love is yet another gift that you can give to yourself right now. So go ahead and repeat after me, either out loud or to yourself. I love you. I love you. I love you. So the second phrase of Ho'oponopono is I'm sorry. And when we think about apologizing to ourselves, it's really about letting go of what is no longer serving us. It's not about keeping a tally or a record of all the things that we did wrong. It's being compassionate to ourselves. It's not keeping a tally or a list. It really is letting go and saying sorry for something that we may have done to ourselves or something that we may have done to others. Perhaps there's a memory that's weighing on your mind. And we want to just say, I'm sorry to ourselves, to apologize to ourselves. We're not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have shortcomings. And so this is just an acknowledgement that that is okay. And we apologize to ourselves. We're going to try and do better the next time, but we're not going to beat up ourselves for it. We're all in a learning mode on this journey to self-unfoldment and realization. So repeat after me, silently or out loud. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And the third phrase is, please forgive me. And kind of the sister of I'm sorry, forgiveness, and apologies go hand in hand. The forgiveness part is really profound. It is the art of letting go of what is no longer serving us. There may have been a person, place, experience that was a challenge, was difficult, created suffering for us. Perhaps we're still holding on to those memories. And so this practice of Ho'oponopono invites us to clean those memories. Clean those memories with self-love, self-forgiveness. And as we clean the memory of these difficult events and experiences, we begin to release their power over us. We begin to bring the light of awareness to these memories. And through this light of awareness, through this cleaning of forgiveness, they lose their power over us. They lose their stranglehold. And we shine the light upon these negative energies, and we realize that they're really fragile, scared little creatures. They're parts of our mind and memory that have tormented us, that they're really just looking for love and forgiveness, like children, like that inner child reaching out, looking for that hug, looking for that acknowledgement. So too, our wounds are often like these children. And so we're bringing the light of forgiveness to that part of us. And so repeat after me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Letting those waves of forgiveness wash over our hearts. Like the waves of the sea. The healing work can be difficult at times, but in this safe space, we allow for this cleansing, this rebirth of our awareness. Each moment is an invitation to begin again. So For that, we give thanks. The fourth step of Ho'oponopono, we give gratitude for where we are at right here and now. And gratitude is really the sweet aftertaste of this practice. It fills us up. It allows us to count our blessings, because there is so many blessings to count. And if you're ever struggling to count those blessings, you can always come back to the fact that you're breathing. If you're with me right now, I know that you're breathing air, you are alive. And that is something to be grateful for. And so we are looking at what fills our cup. We're looking at the half full part of the glass as we practice gratitude. And so just really realizing how truly blessed we are. We are not our stories. We are not the narratives we tell ourselves about ourselves. We're not even the memories of those experiences that we like to recall on, whether positive or negative. Those are but reflections of the past. The true reality is here in this present moment. And so we can choose to live with gratitude or to not. But today we are filling our cup with thankfulness. So repeat after me as we reflect on our own self-gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now that we've spent a little time with this Ho'oponopono practice, let's put it all together as we reflect on filling up our cups. So repeat after me. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So now that we've really tuned in to our minds and our awareness and filling up our cups with love and forgiveness and gratitude, I'd like us to bring our awareness to a difficult or challenging person. This could be a friend, family member, coworker, a politician, or public figure. This is somebody that gets under our skin, that throws us off our vibe. This person may be in our lives or may be out of our lives at the moment. And as we do this practice for this person, I know at times to say that you love a challenging person, or you forgive a challenging person, or that you're grateful for a challenging person. You might not be ready to go there yet, and that's perfectly fine. We're really, with this practice, when we say we love this person, we're really looking for that one positive quality, maybe out of 10 bad qualities or 100 challenging qualities. We're just trying to zero in on showing love for that part of that person or experience that we can actually share some authentic love for. And, the same thing with forgiveness too, and apologizing. We may feel like we don't need to apologize. We may feel like they need to apologize. This isn't about keeping tabs on that. We can apologize for anything that maybe we have done, either consciously or unconsciously, to offend this other person. So we're apologizing for any grievance that we may have wrought. And then we're forgiving this person as well. And forgiveness doesn't mean that we forget. It doesn't mean that we need to be friends, that we need to be buddy-buddy, or that we even need to see this person ever again in our lives. Perhaps we will not see them again. And that could be for our own health and benefit and protection. So forgiveness is really the letting go of that memory or memories that is holding you back. So that is the art of forgiveness that we are tapping into. And then the gratitude that we share for a difficult person, this also is, maybe we can't even think of any one thing that we're actually grateful for with this person, but perhaps by challenging us, they allowed us to grow in ways that we wouldn't have otherwise. Perhaps they allowed us to find out new things about ourselves, hopefully developing and becoming a better person because of this challenging experience with this person. So, all of that to say, this Ho'oponopono practice is nuanced, but ultimately we do want it to come from an authentic place. So let's go ahead and repeat the phrase for this challenging person that's in our awareness. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Letting that healing be sent to this individual. Letting go of any judgments we may have. Sitting in our awareness, in this light of non-judgmental awareness. Letting go of these narratives and being a channel that's ready to be inspired. We are letting go of what's no longer serving us and ready to be the best version of ourselves that we know to be. So I'd like to conclude our session today by sharing a poem with you that I call Forgiveness. Forgive myself, and I forgive you. Let go of my sins, and I forgive yours too. Don't need to like or approve. But if I hold on to my pain, then I lose. So I must let it free. from the grip of my heart, these past traumas that tore us apart. While I've realized you're bad for my health, I wish you resolve for the cards you've been dealt. I do not blame you for your ego tirade, demanding attention out on parade. I know your show is so you'll be seen, to be the good kid you so wanted to be. I send my love to that child inside, to let him know he doesn't need to hide. To let you know your actions were wrong, yet the weight of these wounds I cannot hold on. So I'm letting go, but I'll never forget. This healing is slow. I need to protect, but not out of fear, rather for my own strength. We had our good times, and for that I give thanks. Holding on to the past is not serving me. Present in this moment, I know that I'm free. You're not broken, just more healing to do. I wish you the best and forgive you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Hey there, friend. If you enjoyed that session and would like to join me in real time, then go to openmindsopenhearts.org and sign up for my free classes the first and third Wednesday of each month at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'd love to meet you in person via Zoom online for these sessions. Also, on my website, you can find past guided meditations. You can find my training sessions where I go deeper into the science and mindfulness practices around this content. You'll find my poetry for meditation, original music, and a variety of other resources to guide you on your meditation and mindfulness practice. So go to openmindsopenhearts.org, sign up, and I hope to see you at the next session.